I go to Paris in 3 weeks. And I've put off, I have been procrastinating the transformation element of Cinderella. Did I try to make too many Disney outfits in too short a time? Absolutely. But in my head, this transformation isn't that difficult. At least I've thought about it so hard for so long now that I'm like, yeah, I can whip it up in a week. At the same time, I am panicking that I'm not going to get it done, and oh my goodness, or it's not going to work and I'm not going to be able to correct it, or yeah, it didn't help that I've been not feeling well the last couple of days, so excuse my appearance. Yeah, I slept for like 14 solid hours, which is quite literally insane. It's fine, it's cool. We're getting there. So, diving straight into Cinderella transformation, the pink dress. I can do this. I believe in myself. So, after the whole I did my maths completely wrong debacle for the blue dress, I thought about it, and I didn't even go back to my original plan and was like checking my maths. I redesigned it in my head, and I've done that a couple of times. I'm usually really quite good at maths. I was a real geek as a kid. Like, I went to maths camp, I finished top of maths camp. I am a geek, I'm a nerd, I accept this. And I always found the best way to check what you were doing isn't going over the same thing again, because you're just going to convince yourself you're correct. The best thing is always to think about it again, do it a different way, or do it the same way, but take a few days apart. Obviously you can't do that in an exam, but like in this situation, I can redesign this in my brain. And this is like my scribblings at work. There's a couple of things that I'm a little bit unsure of how I'm going to do. If the skirt is the length that I'm expecting, the hem of the blue skirt, which is actually in my lap, will be a magnificent 8 meters round. I still have to hem that. It's a good thing I bought that hemming foot, and I've done it on the cosplay skirt that you saw last video. It's a bit persnickety starting and like when the two seams meet, or if you're going over a natural seam instead of like a full circle. And with the circle, eventually you do get like this excess, and it kind of then folds, and you get a little fold in your hem. That's kind of understandable. Like, I can see how that's happening. So I think it will work better for straighter hems than it does for a circle skirt. But at least it saved like so much time, because I hand sewed that bell one, and that took me like 3 evenings. Like, why did I do that? And it's not even that long a circle skirt, and it's one layer. So there was absolutely no way that this was going to be done by hand, absolutely not. And I quite liked that fluting effect that the cosplay Cinderella skirt had from using this foot, so I was cool with it. That's what we're going to go with. Whilst I was sorting the cosplay, when I fixed this waist, this is how small I had to make this waist to feel somewhat secure. I know I'm going to take some length off, but it's quite weighty. It's heavier than I thought it was going to be. So originally I was going to do the pink skirt on an elastic waistband, and I'm not now. That's just too much on an elastic. Instead, I'm going to put in a proper waistband with interfacing. I've dug out this from my stash. I don't know why I have this. It was used for something because I had to pull like thread out. I had another one that I thought I was going to use, which I do know was from my wedding dress when I cut that up. But this one's slightly shorter, and because I'm going to do a 3/4 skirt, which you're not going to see at all. I promise you. It's going to be 20 inches long, or 50 centimeters. So this is my little 3/4 skirt underneath here. So 3/4, the dotted line around here. The idea is then to make this tube out of the satin in the tulle, and that's going to be gathered and attached to the bottom of the 3/4 skirt. And then the idea is it's going to drawstring around the waist. So the proper waistband is going to be on the circle skirt underneath. So zip, and I think a button. Like, you can do hook and eye, but I don't have one. So a little button will help keep it together and keep it on. Stop the zip just spontaneously opening up. I can drawstring it with a satin ribbon, and then when I spin, it should hopefully open out and drop. and it should, because it's halfway up, this will then come to meet the bottom hem. And essentially I should have like a 3/4 circle skirt and then layers. It will be 6 in total once it's in half. So it's 3 layers, 1 satin, 2 tulle, and then when it's folded over, you'll have 6. So you'll have satin, tulle, 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 satin. On top will be the other 3 layers of the blue skirt that should roll down. That's going to be rolled up and it's going to sit in this dead space here. Now obviously that outer tube is going to be gathered all the way to the waist. Circumference here of the 3/4 circle skirt comes to 120 inches, 100 or 305 centimetres, so about 3 metre hem there, which means if I did a 7.5, now the reason why it's that is fabric is 1.5 metres wide. If I then cut it in 100 centimetre panels, because I want it to be 40 inches long. 3 panels, 750 centimetres. And then it's going to gather in, which means when it gathers and attaches to this bottom hem, that's already gathering 2.5 times, which is quite a lot. So 120 inches down to 31, 32 inches to my waist, nearly 4 times, which is doable. Any more than that, it's not going to be right. Like I said, the maximum hem I can have is 8 meters, so that it's not going to stretch out. It's not going to be nice and smooth, which I don't want. I do want like it to have a look of fullness, of fluffiness. It's hard to explain. The top, I'm actually still basing it off that same lily pattern that I made the original bodice. I keep looking over there because my mannequin's over there with it on. I actually thought the designers did an incredible job on this. So, you know the whole line of, oh, please don't change my dress, it was my mother's. And fairy godmother, played by the amazing Helena Bonham Carter, say, oh, would she mind a change of colour, like a nice blue? And you think, like, at face value, the end dress and the pink dress that she starts with are so different. But they're not. If you look at the shapes of the bodice and that kind of thing, and then instead of the ruffle off the shoulder, you have the big puff sleeves. The silhouettes are quite similar. Yeah, I think they did a fantastic job, because when I was thinking about how I'm going to hide the blue dress under this pink, it actually was way easier when I was thinking about it. So I'm going to make the bodice out of the pink using the same pattern, but instead of lacing at the back, I'm going to make that back solid. I'm going to split it down the front center because there's sunburst kind of pleating of, I am using glitter tulle. Strictly speaking, I should be using organza, but I couldn't find the right organza color. And to save on hemming, because you don't need to hem tulle, I was like, I'll use tulle for that. By hand, I think I'm going to drape it on my mannequin, the sunburst pleats of the tulle. And then what should happen is I should be able to Velcro off like a jacket. The idea is to Velcro off the top and spin, and as I spin, that drawstring's going to open out and make the petticoat for the skirt then to roll out over the top, hopefully. Let me show you the fabric. That's come up very pink on that camera. It is pink. They call it rose pink. And then pink glitter tulle. And one of the things I'm going to do, I think, is essentially stay stitch. So most of the time when I do skirts, I will hang them up for a few days before I hem, because what happens is the fabric drops. What that means is, unless it's on the straight of grain from selvage to selvage, you've got no give whatsoever. So if it ends up being like somewhat on the bias, there's a bit of give, you can see, as opposed to that. Which means when gravity's in play and you've done a circle skirt, some of those parts of those panels are going to be on the diagonal, and so they have a tendency to pull out and drop. So your skirt hem, even if you cut it perfectly even, goes a bit wibbly wobbly, which is fine. You then just cut it up because it will only drop so much. It's not going to completely like fall apart. So what I'm going to do is stay stitch, which just means doing a line of stitching on the fabric, single layer of fabric, you're not joining bits together, just to help maintain the shape. So you often stay stitch around, say, necklines, so you don't stretch them out when you're attaching collars or the finishing binding or facing, so that stay stitching just helps it maintain its shape. And basically that's what I'm trying to do for this integral structural layer. I just want to maintain its shape so you don't have bits of the because you got a lot of weight. You're gonna have the whole skirt hanging from that hem, so yeah, I want to just make sure it maintains the weight a bit better. So stay stitching, particularly on the diagonal, but probably multiple times around just to secure it a bit more. Can I be real with you? I have lost all motivation to do Cinderella. This is the tearaway pink blouse. I adjusted the shape slightly so because there's going to be a satin cummerbund over the top, so there will be the point eventually, but it doesn't need to be for this blouse, the outer blouse. And I've got, this is some old pink cotton lining that I got for Queenie. This centerpiece is actually wider than it needs to be, but I'm going to cut it kind of off center because I want there to be some like overlap, so that's where the Velcro is going to be. You haven't got that in my brain yet, so I've just attached them like this. I've hand stitched them together and I'm now going to run it under the machine. But yeah, I've just lost all motivation. That can happen a lot when I have an idea for such a long time, and it takes me quite a long while to make it a reality. We've had a rather stressful week. My husband and I, like, his phone just stopped working, and so we've had to put money into that, and it's not the only unexpected bill that we've had. So, you know, it's the last thing you really want is your money to get tight just before you go to Disney. But, you know, we live. So I'm not really moaning about it. It's just been a little bit of extra stress. I think I've just been really down and stressed recently. Yeah, I haven't wanted to sew. I cut these out on Thursday night. We're now Saturday. We are literally 1 week. I need to be packing or have packed. You know, there's certain other things that come with stress, like not sleeping so well, and I've got acne. Looking forward to Paris, but this was if I'm honest, a mistake. I don't like sewing to a deadline, and I really should have got on this. All the seams that I'm going to sew for now are sewed together. I'm now going to go around and unpick my basting stitches that held it in place and then iron. All of that I'm going to do off camera. It's not interesting. Hopefully I'll get you back for draping the pink glitter tulle. She has it in some kind of like almost like a sunburst pleat on the front. That's why I've left these sides open. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of drape it and then sandwich the outer and the inner together and turn it through kind of like a pillowcase, and then it's gonna Velcro down the front because, like I said, this is bigger than it needs to be. And then I need to work out puff sleeves, ruffle, and the cummerbund. Now, the reason why I did the cummerbund separately, I didn't want there to be a seam down the middle, because I'm having this open in the middle like a jacket. I didn't want there to be a seam down the middle of the cummerbund. And don't mind too much on the main shirt because of those sunburst pleats. It's going to hide it slightly. You will see it. It's not going to be a hidden thing, so don't expect it to be. But like, it will be less noticeable here and more noticeable on, say, like having a seam almost like this in the center of the cummerbund. So what I'm going to do there is, instead of having it opening here, I'm going to have it opening on the side. So it'll be a kind of two-way. motivation still hasn't kicked in. I've actually started losing sleep over this, which is obviously counterproductive, and it doesn't matter how much I told my brain it's fine, sleep, and then you can work on it when you wake up. Nope, at 4 a.m. it decided it was going to think through all the steps that I needed to do today, which obviously means I'm much slower. I have just finished overlaying the bodice pieces now with that glitter tool. Matching those sunburst pleats on the front were a bit awkward. It's not full on sunburst pleats, they're just a few pleats. I think there was only like 2 on each side in the image, but I decided to do 5 on each side because I think it looks better. And it's inspired by, it's not, like I said, it's not a carbon copy of the film version. There's absolutely no way I could do that with it being a transformation as well. The next step is the cummerbund and the ruffle. I need the cummerbund in place before I sew up the side seam, and then I need the ruffle in place before I sandwich it in the lining, so all those raw edges are nice and trapped. This is just taking so much longer, and I don't think it's just a motivation thing. I think it's also because of the amount of hand stitching, invisible hand stitching that I'm doing to make this look good. It's also called prick stitching. I don't know if prick has connotations other places other than the UK, but yeah, a lot of prick stitching has been done, and I am losing my mind. But no, I'll show you where we're at. Let me have to stop and then turn. There we are. You can see, so where these ironed lines are, that's actually the centre front. So that's gonna meet like that. You've got the nice sunburst pleats. That I should have interlined. That would have been way easier, but I kind of forgot, because I didn't realise that it was more smooth on the back. I thought it'd also be pleated in some way, because I didn't look at my look at the movie before I decided to cut this out. So that's also overlined. I think I managed to do it in one piece across these 3 panels, but over here you can actually see, in fact the camera picks it up quite well, this is double layered, but you know what, it doesn't matter. So I've got my bodice pieces overlaid with the glitter tool. Next is the cummerbund. So, leaving a day early to get to London. Fortunately, we have a friend living in London. Yeah, National Rail, nightmare. So, got an email yesterday saying that tomorrow the train company are short-staffed and our train might be cancelled. So, we have to go early.
To spend time with our friends.
We have to go early.
Have to go to London.
It's actually Saturday. We're not actually flying till tomorrow, and we're heading to the train station now. I'm new to this vlogging thing, so yeah, I didn't record us coming into London, but we are here. We've stayed the night. We're at our friend's house, so first bed of a few different ones actually for this trip. Yeah, so now we've got a day in London. It's like 9:30 in the morning. I'm not dressed yet, it's fine. Flight's at 10 to 9 tonight, so we've got basically a whole working day, even though it's Sunday, in London. And then, yeah, flight tonight from Heathrow, which is dead easy to get to on the Elizabeth line. So probably won't film much today, but I'll update you when we're at the airport.
This is an Elizabeth line service to Heathrow Terminal 4 via Heathrow Terminals 2 and 3. The next station is Heathrow Terminals 2 and 3.
Very excited.
Where are we going, Harry?
Go Paris. Go Paris.
Who just said, oh shit?
Him.
Tu me dublais, mais elle vient de travailler en France.
Je viens de passer. I'm just sitting here warm up. It's great, I want it to be cold.
We're off to Disney! Woo!
Neuilly-Plaisance.
You see what it feels like cross between Queens and LA. Bex!
Stormtroopers in the middle.
That's very cool.
Yeah. This vlog is all over the place with orientation of this camera. I'm sorry. I'm new to this. Just got back. I've had a shower from first day at Disney. Absolutely knackered already. Like, I haven't checked how many steps we've done today, but we did 27,500 steps on Monday and just shy of 26,000 steps yesterday. So we're already a bit footsore before we've even started the Disney portion of our holiday. Tomorrow's the big day. It's Halloween, and we finally get to wear those. That I get to wear the costume. He doesn't get to wear it. That'd be weird. And I don't know why I was worried at all, because judging by the Disney bounding and just general stuff that we saw today, they don't care here. I think the biggest, not offender, because that sounds like they're doing something wrong. They're just dressing up like it's not that deep. But there was a couple who were dressed as Beauty and the Beast, and the only thing, or two things that you could say would have classed her into like full costume, is her dress stopped just below the knee, but it was like proper costume, and her hair was blonde, not brown, but the hairstyle was even that of Belle. Her partner had the coat on, but obviously hadn't beasted up, I suppose. So yeah, that was if they were allowed in today, then I can't foresee any issue. Some of the skirts and dresses that people were wearing, I'd be shocked if they tell us that we saw a full-on Jedi today as well. Like, so we're fine, I think. And if they say something, we'll be really quite confused, because yeah, people were in pretty much costume today, even though it's only going to be tomorrow, but it's fine. Yeah, we had a great day. Knackered, as I've already said. Hit a fair few spots already. It's a Small World. You got to do It's a Small World. Indiana Jones, Space Mountain. I don't like the retheming. I don't know why they made it Star Wars. And they haven't really rethemed it. They've just kind of stuck a few posters up. It's a bit weird. It'd be much better as like Treasure Planet with the diesel punk vibes it already had. We didn't do Big Thunder Mountain because that went down, which is fine. We will hopefully get on that tomorrow. And we didn't do the Peter Pan one, which I really like, because I'm not waiting longer than 30 minutes really for that one. I love it, but yeah, we don't like waiting too long for rides. We stayed in Disneyland as opposed to going over to Hollywood Studios today, even though we can do that. Overall, great day. I would say the staff don't seem to be as upbeat. Like, don't get me wrong, there was some lovely staff. In fact, we had one of the best waiters I think I've ever had. So we went to Captain Jack's table, and they're like, usual things, do you have an allergy? And I was like, yes, I do. I'm allergic to banana, which usually isn't a big deal, but the Caribbean place, I do run a risk there. So be like, why did you eat there? My husband really wanted to eat there, and I love Caribbean food. I just can't have banana. And instantly he was like, oh, what about plantain? I said, I've never actually tested that, but probably best to avoid. And I'm not allergic to the extent of cross-contamination. I just can't eat it. That's fine. But yeah, he was fantastic, and I wish I got his name, because I've never felt so confident in a staff member with my allergy before. So, and yeah, most of the staff that we've chatted to have been lovely. It's just the general vibe seems a little bit more reserved, I suppose. And there seems to be less staff around. Like, I do remember in like Anaheim and Disney World, there are a lot of staff managing queues, and there's not the personnel, I think. Hopefully we'll stop comparing it and just enjoy it. But yeah, Phantom Manor was another one we did. Obviously that has a different story. We were reading the story in the line because we didn't know. We knew it had a different story, but we didn't know what the story was. So we thought we'd read into that, so we had a better idea about what the ride was going to be. And it was cool. We did enjoy it. But I do love my haunted house, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, hopefully hit Big Thunder Mountain tomorrow. I'm also hoping Tower of Terror, but that could be first thing on Friday instead, because we were allowed in the park obviously as hotel guests an hour earlier than the public. So we're aiming to get in there at 8:30 tomorrow. It's just gone 10. Harry's in the bath. But yeah, I'm just gonna go to sleep. And I'll see you tomorrow for the big reveal. We think we know we're gonna do it as well, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm also getting really nervous, and I'm gonna be nervous until I do it. But such is the way it's like. So yeah, see you tomorrow.
Go again, try again. Not quite there.
Come on.
Now me.
It's for you.
Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing.
And for you, a little ghost.
Oh, that's magnifique. Good. You don't look convinced.
Not many.
I'm trying to get more ready dressing. Oh, it's a misty morning on Big Thunder Mountain.
Yeah, that's what I was adjusting to.
Uh-huh. Ooh, it's still in the red livery. That was really nerdy of me.
Le vol 829 en provenance de Naples arrive en porte 1R. Les passagers...
Hold him up to the droid up there. Can you do your impression? Becky, go through here. Becky, go through.
Hi.
It begins.
I'm so glad I've not eaten yet.
Oh, they slowed down. They slowed it down.
Oh, Harry.
This is a lot harder than you want it to be.
Maybe that's deliberate.
Maybe.
Maybe it's deliberate. Maybe a little bit.
Working out now.
Oh, God. Why Why did I subject myself to this again? Yes. Are you happy with yourself?
Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's the people that don't have magic pass. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm videoing, you're cool. Right on.
Look at all the treasure you have on there. It almost looks like sea glass. Well, do you have any sea glass shoes too?
No, a little Mickey.
My gosh, they sparkle. It almost looks like, I don't know how to explain this. Have you ever seen a moon jellyfish?
No, unfortunately not.
Never.
Alright, how about, have you ever seen almost like little bioluminescent plankton on the top of the ocean? Okay, well then it looks like that. I'm trying to go with all the things that I know under the sea that glitter. Well, come on over. We'll hold our dresses out together. It takes a while to get used to human legs. I'm still getting used to myself.
I'm just gonna move the chair real quickly.
Oh yes, your throne. What are we thinking?
thank you
What
very
are you
much.
dressed as?
It's from a long, long way away. Galaxy far, far away.
Oh, one of those starfish.
Starfish, that's right. Manchester, you wouldn't mind to take a picture, please? Thank you so much. Harry. Thank you so much, Merida. Oh, you both look so beautiful. Lovely. I've got it. Thank you so much.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Madame. Oh yes, absolutely. Just as nice as your dress, I think. Oh, perfect.
Absolutely, how fantastic. With all of your gorgeous butterflies too. My goodness, Kate, we definitely have a photo together. Would you like one? Yes, of course, of course. Do you want to be
She took some definite inspiration. Thank
Wow,
you.
goodness me. You ready for the photo?
I ruined a picture.
Very, very nice. There we are. All right, big smile.
Oh, beautiful. Everyone loves that guy.
Alors, rejoignez-nous à la célébration Halloween de Mickey. Dear friends, fellow pumpkins and chocolate spirits, are you ready to celebrate Halloween?
Do a little love heart.
Keep the rhythm strong and steady.
I think the nap helped. Look how bright and happy she is. I'm struggling to keep up. I'm gonna have to stop recording. I'm coming. Ah, Becky spin. Becky spin. Becky. Becky. Becky spin. Becky spin. Woo! Oh, that was a good one. Go do this thing again.
So cool.
That's cool. Yeah, the smoke's a really cool effect. It's so 90s, I love it. Oh, that's magic. Oh, he's huge! Yeah, big boy. Oh, he's massive! Whoa! Oh, I love Pete's Dragon. That's cool. So it's 25 past 11, the end of Halloween. How are you feeling, sweetie?
Tired.
You've noticed that she's also nicked my cloak. I'm fine with it. Yeah, it's been a good day. Much better second day. I'm talking really quiet, I'm not sure anyone here. The shops are all still open to sell the last minute things. But we won hot chocolate back at base. Yeah. So only 21,000 steps today, down from 26. We found hot chocolates. Becky is happy. Becky will survive. Good news. That way to home. He's tired, so I've overtaken the vlogging. It is, I have no idea what time it is. It's got to be like midnight now. But we got hot chocolate. Becky can survive. And we are almost home. That's not it. Our hotel's that way. We're almost there. Iron Man, but I'm great at vlogging. So we're eating tonight.
Before sitting down, secure all large items in the storage crates. Safely secure all smaller items on your person. This
is how Tara likes.
Yeah.
Ne traînez pas les amis, on a du pain sur la planche. Allez, continue, purge et rallume l'unité.
Whoa! I can see a castle from here. Que le capitaine d'un bateau naviguant sur Rivers of the Far West parle le français, comme beaucoup d'entre vous présents.
Allez, bien, je vais bien. Drink up,
Oh no! Woo! Oh, this is cool. There's bubbling in the volcanoes. That's cool.
De plus, elles peuvent nager jusqu'à 35 km par heure.
Travels 35 kilometers per hour. Impressive for a turtle. But they'll have a hard time keeping up with the Nautilus.
Considérons-nous maintenant que c'est une course entre les tortues et le Nautilus?
There's no contest. The Nautilus can travel at speeds up to 43 knots, twice as fast as any turtle. And my ship has traveled 20,000 leagues under the sea, almost twice the circumference of the planet.
Le Nautilus.
Ouverture de l'hélice.
That's cool.
It would appear the Nautilus has company.
Des dauphins. Magnifiques. Ils sont réputés comme certains des mammifères les plus intelligents de la planète.
Huge.
4:20 in the morning, headed for the airport. Airport fit, vintage dungarees. I'm so tired. So I've actually been back like 3 weeks and I'm only now filming this. It's fine. My final thoughts on the pink dress, particularly because that was the new bit to this video. I wasn't happy with it, unfortunately. It didn't come out how I thought it would in my head. Particularly, you can see, or at least I can see, the blue dress underneath that pink layer. I deliberately chose things like that satin so to try and prevent that happening, as opposed to like using lining satins, which you definitely would have seen. They would have been more lightweight. Maybe that would have been better for the argument's sake of it was so heavy, like the skirt particularly, and then wearing it was just uncomfortable. Not when once it folded down and it essentially was a giant petticoat underneath the blue skirt, it was fine. It was actually fun to wear, and obviously I did a lot of spinning. Harry requested I spun a lot. It was fun to wear. I'm really glad that I did it. I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to wear a costume at Disney. And yes, I was a child and I met all the princesses. Oh, and I also made myself a wand. So I think you can do this in the American one, but I didn't see it at the time when I went last year, or earlier this year still. But you can make your own glass wands. So they kind of pre-blow the outer bit, so the bit with the rose and this and the gold. And basically this was empty and I got to choose the colours. You can engrave your name, date, that kind of thing on there. Now obviously this is Beauty and the Beast themed, the rose. This is one of their limited edition ones, so it was slightly more expensive than some of the others. But my oldest dog, bless her, she's not with us anymore. Her name was Belle, and she was named after Beauty and the Beast. So yeah, when my husband said that to me, I teared up. I've absolutely got to make a wand for my Belle and Pascal. Of course, the wand has started a new collection for me. One day I'll have to think of how to display them all. I have one right now, so it's not a worry. We had a great time. I think I've touched on it already in like the vlog bits. There's some bits of Paris that I think are better than the American parks. I can't comment on the Asian parks, so the ones in Shanghai or Tokyo or Hong Kong. But compared to the American parks, Space Mountain is one of the best rides, I think, in Paris. I don't like the retheming. I've said that. It isn't a true retheming either. It's just like putting a few posters up. There's some other cool elements in Paris that you just don't get in other places.
faces. But yeah, overall, it lacked the bit of magic, and we do think it was mostly due to the fact that there wasn't enough cast members. The cast members are the ones who bring the magic to the day. Shout out to Daniel, he was fantastic. He was the one who made us our little coffees on Halloween, the Mickey face and the ghost, and had Stitch on his shoulder, dressed up for Halloween as he should have been. There were some great cast members, I just don't think there was enough of them. And then there were certain things like, in the States, if they're doing repair work, which let's face it, there's repair work going on constantly at these parks, you need to make sure they're safe and functioning and all of that. They do really well at hiding or distracting you from the building site. So they've even developed a colour called Go Away Green to stop you looking at. Like it's apparently a colour that is so distasteful to the eye that you can't help but look away kind of colour. Someone else has definitely spoken about it. It's how I learned about it. It was on YouTube. So you could probably find that somewhere. In Paris, there just wasn't that. There was huge scaffolding structures out everywhere. And like, honestly, Walt Disney Studios, which I called Hollywood Studios earlier in the vlog, most of it's not working. Most of it's down. Like, it's not even worth going there. I mean, Tower of Terror is there, and it is still one of my favourite rides. It's not as good as the original in Florida, I must admit, but that's because Florida has an extra dimension to it. So the one in Paris just goes up and down, whereas Florida has a track that goes the other direction as well. Spoiler, it's great. My advice is, if you're going there, go for an event, because I do think there is a fair bit better on Halloween itself. The line management getting into the parks in the morning was absolutely shocking. It took a really long time to get in, even with the extra magic hour. People aren't very good with having the app on their phone, so they'll get to the turnstile and then get up on their phone, which doesn't help. That's your tickets, by the way. Your tickets tend to be a mobile thing. You can get a hard copy ticket from your hotel if you stay there, which during magic hour, everyone is. So you can get a hard copy if you find the technology difficult, so please do, and don't hold everyone else up. Another thing is, a lot of people were joining the line that didn't have access. They didn't have magic hour, and so they were being turned away. And it's just like, there was no signs, there was no people like controlling it, even though it's pretty obvious when the park opened and that kind of thing. But yeah, people tend to act out of ignorance, I want to say. Yeah, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. It took a long time to recover, I think. We did a lot of walking. Then when we got back, we went straight up to a Halloween party. And yeah, we've been non-stop. We accidentally had a weekend off because my friends were meant to come down, but then I had an allergic reaction. I've had an interesting November, not gonna lie. And I've also been pushing myself to make Christmas presents, which obviously you're not gonna see. So I have been sewing and crafting and all of that jazz, but I wanted to get them done for last weekend, because last weekend we hired a car to go back home so I could take most of the presents home. I've got one more to do, I think. Yeah, I really pushed myself making gifts this year. I'm also going to make Christmas stockings. That'll be the next video, and the last video this side of Christmas. Yeah, let me know if you liked this kind of vlog, life vlog kind of stuff, and if I should do more of it, or if you think it was the absolute worst vlog you've ever seen. You probably are right. I was really bad at picking up the camera. Most of the clips you will notice my husband filmed. So I'm now going to go edit this video. Hopefully it's not an hour long. If you enjoyed this video, join me again to hobby along with me. Bye!
Aren't you glad you've got me to set these up? Oh, I'm still recording in my pocket.